Hi, my name's Alyssa. I just figured it might be a really interesting idea if I kind of taped my cosplay progress. So I plan on going to Comic-Con this October, the 10th through the 13th. We have 3-day passes, my boyfriend and I kind of sort of conned him into dressing up with me at least one of the days. So he plans on being a stormtrooper, and he is currently working on his armor. And I wanted to do something with him. But I wasn't sure what exactly. I mean, there's Princess Leia, there's all different things that I could have chosen. And he already had a Boba Fett helmet that fit me. So I thought that, well, I mean, I could do that. It's an interesting idea. He likes Boba Fett anyway. We already had the helmet. It's one less thing to buy. So while the process of buying things, he bought his armor. He purchased, because he says he wants it anyway, the Boba Fett blaster, a set of armor, which included the leather belt and the Wookiee braids. So all I would have to do is find pants, make the knee braces, shoes, the top, the flak jacket, the cape, the gauntlets that he wears with like the rocket blaster thing, and the jetpack. So, on top of all of that, I also want to cosplay for myself because I really enjoy it. And I had already had made a Fiona costume from Adventure Time, so it's pretty much just done already. I really wanted to make a new sword based on the comic book by Natasha Allegri, her magic, like with the buttons, kind of like magic sword. So I have that on my plate, as well as fixing or making a whole entire new hat. The hat that I have is felt, which doesn't really hold up that well. It's kind of like, the felt's kind of like wearing away, and it's kind of like fuzzy, and I'm just not too pleased with it anymore. It was good while I had it. I really enjoyed it. It held up fine. But I think that I might use polar fleece to make it like a little sturdier and maybe not wear away as fast. So that's pretty much it. I just have to fix my hat, maybe make a new sword, or paint the Adventure Time sword that I have. She's done. I mean, I might make a new skirt, but that's a couple minutes on a sewing machine. Then I wanted to do something, like, I mean, I already had that costume. I just have to fix some things, but I wanted to do something else. So after some thought, I had, Googled images, like thinking about the ideas I could do. I settled on Link from Legend of Zelda. So, I mean, relatively, probably not the most complicated costume ever, but I guess when things are time permitted, it's probably not the best idea. So, I have the image right next to me. I have a lot to do. I just purchased a Master Sword, wood, because of the weapon rules at New York Comic Con. And the reviews did say that the blade is pretty thin and it looks like it could break easily, or did break easily. So, I mean, I still bought it because I need something, and I may not be the best sculptor in the world. I bought it, and if the blade does break, I would probably just have to make another one myself, with the help of my dad, the carpenter. It comes with a hilt, and I bought the leather belt strap for the sword so I could wear it across my chest, instead of carrying it the whole time, which is probably very annoying. The shield, well, the sword was like $27, free shipping with Amazon Prime, and the belt strap was like $10 and I think $7 shipping. So I mean, that's not too terrible. I could have bought the real sword for about the same price as both of those, but can't bring it into Comic-Con. I don't want to get kicked out or lose my sword. The shield my boyfriend says he's going to purchase because he wants it anyway for his room. That runs about, I think, between like $30 and $40 on Amazon, which is relatively cheap. It looks pretty sturdily made, already has the straps on the back, so that's you just kind of like, you get it and you're done, unless you want to age it or kind of make it a little bit different, because I'm sure it comes really pristine. I need elf ears, like elf tips, and I've seen them online, and I'm hesitant to do that because I know, time permitting, I don't want to have something come 3 weeks later and not know if I'm getting it, or something happens, I'm kind of screwed. So I think I looked on a couple, because the Halloween stores are starting to pop up. I think Spirit Halloween and Halloween City both have elf ears. I did see a World of Warcraft Blood Elf ear, but like prosthetic kit, which the other ones I've seen are kind of like this huge thing that goes on top of your ear, completely covering it, and they look sort of cheesy. But there's another pair that I think were at Spirit Halloween. They're actually tips. So, I mean, I'd have to buy, like, I think it's just the adhesive and probably, like, apply makeup so it matches my skin tone a little bit more. But they seem to be pretty cheap, probably like 12 bucks. And I think I can get a coupon for 20% off, so that's not too bad. On top of the ears, I mean, I need to make the hat and the green tunic, which I actually plan on going to the fabric store today to see if I can find some decent green fabric. I need a belt, which I could probably get at the thrift store or steal one of my brother's. The gloves, I'm probably going to find a pair of old leather gloves and cut the fingers off, or something like that. Tights are tights. It shouldn't be too hard to find. White leggings or something. The white undershirt, probably not that complicated. Like an Under Armour might be fine. And just make a collar, like a white collar underneath. Something like that. It shouldn't be too complicated, but I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of trouble with it. The boots, I already have boots. I don't have them down here, but they're pretty much just like brown boots with some like belty strap things on them. They look pretty cool. I thought I'd throw them out and I was going to just scrap the whole link idea because buying a whole new pair of boots is like at least $40, of which I really don't have. So I found the boots and I decided, you know what, well, I already have one thing. I'll probably just, you know, like make the rest as I go and one less thing to buy. The wig, I'm not entirely sure. I do have a wig that I plan to use for a different cosplay that I never got to do. It's a very light blonde wig. Not really the right color for Link. I really honestly don't feel like buying a whole nother wig just for this cosplay, which I'm not even sure if it's going to look great or not. I mean, if things do come out well, maybe between Comic-Con and Halloween, maybe I'd buy a real wig. My friend usually helps me buy them from either Japan or China, which they're really good quality, and I'm usually pretty happy with them. I have bought wigs in New York before. I bought one for my Ramona Flowers costume, and I really liked it. It was really decent quality. It was only 20 bucks, which I didn't mind dropping. And I still have it. It's really good. It's held up pretty well. So I think that cosplay has a lot. And I also wanted to have like little potion bottles and kind of like make it my own. Maybe make like a rupee bag because I do have some extra leather hanging around. I didn't want it to just be like very plain. I wanted it to be kind of like worldly. I don't know, like worn in or something. So I might wear or like age my boots and the leather straps and maybe the gloves as well. But I do have a lot of work to do, not a lot of time. Again, I'm planning to go to New York Comic Con with all 3 of these costumes. I don't have a lot done. I need to do a lot. I don't have a lot of money, and I need a lot of money to finish this. So I'm a little nervous, but my Master Sword should be coming in the mail within the next 2 days. Thank God for Amazon Prime. This way I can have time to fix it if it's crap. Hopefully it's not. But yeah, I think I'm just going to continue to update if anybody's watching. It's fine. Maybe it's just for me. But I just want to, I guess, kind of keep track of how things go, because it's always fun. Yeah. But I guess I'll make another video after I come back from the fabric store and kind of start to put together my costume or the tunic for Link, which hopefully should be the least of my issues. Alright, so I'm back from the fabric store. I drove all the way out onto Route 22, went all the way down past Watchung. I think it's in North Plainfield. It's called Fabricland. I've never been there before, but it seemed like a good place to go. I was unsure of what kind of material I was looking for. I just knew the color. So I went to Fabricland. They had a really large selection. The front of the store is more upholstery, and they have curtains and things like that. Then if you keep walking into the back, they have trimmings, and then they have costume fabrics and regular cotton fabrics for clothing. So I was kind of like, looking around, seeing what I could find. There were a couple fabrics that I liked. One was almost like corduroy, like a very thin, lightweight corduroy, darker foresty green. I really, really liked that. But it was $14.99 a yard, and I knew I was going to need either 2 to 3 yards, and that's a lot of money to spend on fabric for me. If you have the money, you know, you can do whatever you want. I can't judge. But if I had the money, I probably would have bought it. But I was looking for something a little bit cheaper. I didn't want to spend more than $20 on fabric. So I went looking further deep into the store. Found some other fabrics I like, kind of like put on the side that I might use. And then they have a sale section where it's kind of like remnants on a table. And I found something that I really liked. It looked like the perfect fabric. The right color. It was very soft. The material kind of looked like something more natural, not burlappy, but like just a nice material, almost linen, a mix between linen and burlap. The other thing was that it was only a yard of fabric, which, I mean, I looked at it, I wasn't sure, I don't have a pattern that I'm working off of, but it just didn't look like a lot, and I knew that I would need more for the hat and the sleeves. I mean, if I was just making a straight tunic, I probably would have been okay if I didn't mess it up. And I asked, and the associates told me, oh, well, that's decorative fabric, so you have to go look by the upholstery stuff. And the gentleman there told me, oh, well, if it's for a costume, you really want to stay in the costume fabrics. And they didn't have it anyway, and they didn't really have anything similar to it, so I kind of just put it back, unfortunately. So I basically got a very typical, normal, nothing special fabric, but I did like the color. So it's pretty nice. It looks a little weird, but it's just pretty much a green fabric. And it was $7.99 a yard, so I got 2. I'm hoping that's enough. If not, whatever, I'll go back. They had a whole spool of fabric, so I have to go back for a hat. Totally cool. And I was going to buy leather, like the fake vinyl leather, and they wanted, I was going to say it was about like $17.99 a yard. It's a lot. There's a cheaper fabric store that I can go to find the fake leather vinyl, whatever it is, which is, it's like about half the price. So I kind of just put that on hold. They didn't have any trimmings that I liked. I was going to find a nice like trim. They didn't really have anything, and the people were just not the nicest, so I kind of wanted to get out of there as soon as I could. So for the 2 yards, I wound up paying $15.98 just for fabric. I hope everything goes well. I hope I don't mess up, because, you know, I have to drive all the way out there or go to a different fabric store, which probably would. So I don't have matching thread for this, so I went to my local Walmart, which is great. It's cheap. They usually have a ton of stuff. And I got 2 spools of this green thread, which I kind of matched up, and it's pretty similar. I mean, it looks a little weird, but I mean, then again, it's thread. You probably won't even see it. And they didn't have anything really close. And then I see some people online make these nice ornate little patterns on it. And I kind of wanted to do like a gold kind of embroidery thing going on. So I got this gold thread. It was like $3. It looks really nice. I'm hoping it doesn't like scrub my sewing machine. So I'm kind of going off of the tutorial that Strawberry 17 has done. She uses a oversized t-shirt and just extends the length and uses the sleeves from that, which seems to be, it looked really good. So I think that's a pretty safe way to go. Other tutorials, it's just pictures, and that doesn't really help me, or they use a pattern but they don't give it to you, and I mean, this seems to be the easiest way to go about it. I couldn't find white leggings or tights, so the search does continue. But right now I found an old t-shirt that I'm going to use and turn the iron on so I can iron them so they're nice and flat. Probably going to iron this fabric as well. And I'm going to start sketching out my pattern with my tailor's chalk. Always good to have. And see how this goes. And then I'll whip out my sewing machine and kind of hoping this works out well. One less thing to do, and now that I have the whole weekend, I have a lot of time. So maybe I guess I can update the channel when I finish the costume, or when I'm a little bit closer to finishing at least the tunic. So I'm gonna start sewing and see how things go.